what I see coming through the academy is, they haven't seen confrontation before. Back in the day when we were growing up, it's all about putting up these hands and, it's a fist fight. But now it's words behind a computer screen or words behind text messages.
Exactly.
And then when they get dealt with confrontation in their face, a lot of them don't know how to react. So you can see in law enforcement right now, they're having a hard time recruiting people because
they are.
And so, there's a big gap of folks trying to get into law enforcement. I think it's a rewarding career if you want to give back to your community, protect your community. And it's a great job to have. The retirement's great. All right. You can get to retire early. I go, but you are going to put in some work. Right. And if you're interested in the financial industry, what I'd like to tell people is like, come watch me, see what I do. And if it's something that you can do and you want to duplicate it, by all means, duplicate who I am. Right. Take a little bit of what I do and incorporate it into your own style and see if this is something for you. Because, with being a business owner and understanding all the, the perks you get as far as having your own business, right?
Right.
People don't, of course we have to pay our share of taxes, right?
Yes.
Everyone's got to pay their share of taxes. But if you know how money works and how businesses work and leveraging that, having an LLC and S Corp, whatever, there's write-offs, right?
Right.
So what people don't know too is like, before I was paying taxes, but now because I have my two businesses, I got money back. I got money back the last 2 years, and I was sitting nice. But it's because of what you know and what you do and how you apply it, and educating yourself to how the business works and being an entrepreneur and using those tax write-offs. That's why the wealthy people are wealthy, because they know how to leverage and understand. They understand taxes.
Right.
And that's what I teach. That's what I educate on. It's like, okay, well, what are some alternatives? What are some different options? So it's all about education, folks. I mean, if you just tap in, and I know money's a taboo that people don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't never judge. I've been there, and I've been through all that. What you tell me won't affect me or what I think of you. But if I can just drop some nuggets on you and give you some information and help you make some financial strategies for the future that's going to build wealth, then let's do it. Let's talk. Let's just have a conversation.
I love it.
Nothing
Absolutely,
big.
man.
Yep.
Dropping some gems, teaching people, educating people. But what's in it for you, man? Let's say you teach someone to become a billionaire, right? By having the right write-offs, by building wealth, using different strategies that you implemented. And what do you get out of it?
For me, I think it's my purpose, right? True leaders have a servant's heart. That's one of my favorite quotes, right? True leaders have a servant's heart. Because in order for you to be a leader, you need to be able to serve first. Your team needs to see you serve first, right? So they need to see you in action, get your hands dirty, say, this guy's doing the work. So I respect that. It's all about integrity. It's all about honesty. If you do the right things with purpose and integrity and honesty, that just builds your character. Your people, your team behind you will see that. They'll be drawn to you and they want to duplicate that. And then you just do the right things and the blessings will come. I truly believe that. If you just do the right thing, and don't think about the paycheck, think about the purpose first.
Oh, hold on, man. We're dropping bombs over here, gems over here, man. Don't think about the paycheck, think about the purpose, man. Yeah. That remind me, what is it? The mission?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is more important than the commission.
Exactly.
Right?
There it is, right there.
Protecting people, right? And I feel like you are on a mission. You reached to a certain level of life and where you're at now, and now it's like you see the light. You're like, hey, you know what? You found gold, and there's a gold mine here, and you want to just tell people all about it.
That's it.
Right?
And the goal is information.
Information.
That's it.
Right.
And it's free. I'm not charging for anything. Just come and hear me talk.
That's wow, man. So and then they can go through your website and schedule a one-on-one consultation
or attend my workshops.
And learn more through your workshop.
Yep.
Okay. So what's the next step for you? What's the next chapter in your life? Obviously, helping people achieve financial success and goals. But what do you want to do personally? What do you want to take your legacy? Ron Barroga. What's next for him?
Man, just with my two businesses, just the law enforcement courses, I want to, with the experience that I have and then my team that I have a team of veteran officers. Sweet. And if we can teach some of these officers some of the things that we've gone through, some of the mistakes that we've gone through, teaching them, educating them, hopefully they don't make the same mistakes. That to me, if I can save an officer's life because of our training, to me, that's like, okay, I did my job. At least he got something and he was able to be safe, right? That's the one thing. In the financial services industry, I just want to build leaders. I want people to just educate. You know, people think, you know, life insurance and sales and all like that. No, I see it as this is an opportunity to educate people on really how money works.
Right.
And so if you could just build people that and show them your vision and show them, hey, chase the purpose, not the paycheck. And I'm saying if do it for the right reasons.
Love it.
And then your clients, the people will respect you more, and they'll appreciate more the experience they had with you than the product, right?
Yeah.
Because if they can buy into you, and because your integrity, you're personable, you're really looking out for them, you're always checking in and say, hey, anything I can do to help.
Love it.
If you just chase the purpose and you just do it for the right reasons, like I said, they're more inclined to listen to you, and they buy into you a little bit more. So
Absolutely, man. I think a lot of people they buy things based on, you know, they're gonna like you first.
Yeah.
They gotta like and trust you first, right? And obviously, if people purchase things with emotions, and if you can get someone to feel excited and hopeful, and knowing that they can trust you, man, you have a customer for life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't believe that people purchasing through logic. Logically, yeah, we should insure our life and leave somebody behind. But I'm sure you come across some people that are like, you know what, I have insurance through work. You know, I don't need it. Like, to those type of people, what do you say?
Well, I said, do you understand how that insurance at work works? I was like, well, you don't own it. Your employer owns it. I'm sure this is for the most part, right?
Yeah.
When you're employed with a company, go
Back
ahead.
up a second.
Yep.
So, as a police law enforcement officer, right? Mm-hmm. You guys have some type of protection already in place. You don't need more. I don't know this field.
Okay, so law enforcement, we have the group insurance that
Yeah.
we get through work, right? You could buy extra if you wanted to, right?
That's not enough. Go
No,
ahead.
it's not enough, and especially if you're in law enforcement, if all you have is work insurance, it's not enough, and you have to understand how it works, right? It's typically accidental death and dismemberment. Do you guys know what that means? You have to be hurt on the job, or you have to have been dismembered, basically lose a limb, right? So that's how you'll tap into your work insurance. But if you're a law enforcement, and well, just say you're law enforcement officers are more at risk for health risk.
Yes.
Because of the stuff that we see, the stuff that we have to go through. We put our bodies through a lot of different things. So if you're not self-insuring yourself outside of work, then you're under-insuring yourself, and you're not protecting your family.
Right.
Because my question is, what is your replacement income if something should ever happen to you? Will your family be able to maintain their lifestyle? Will your kids continue to reach their goals? Will they be able to maintain stay in the home that they're in?
Right.
Did you take action to protect your family? A lot of people they place more importance on their phone insurance, home insurance, car insurance. I go, but where do you fall in that line?
Yeah.
You should put yourself first. I
Ooh.
get that you need those things are mandatory.
Right.
I go, but your life is mandatory too. Your people depend on your income and you providing food on the table. But if you don't take action on protecting yourself, that they need to be aware of that. And term insurance through work, when you retire, and this is, I think, for most cases, your employer owns that. And when you retire, you're out of insurance. You need to either find some insurance, and by the time you retire, what are your age, 62, 65?
Right.
Try getting insurance at that age. It's going to be more costly. It's going to be more expensive.
Right.
And you may not even qualify because of your health conditions at that age. So
Absolutely.
these are the things that people really don't. They think about retirement. Oh, that's too far. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah,
No, you got to deal with it now.
Yeah.
You got to understand how these things work now. You don't own your life insurance at work, right? And if you don't understand how these are qualified retirement plans work, there's other vehicles out there that's going to make your money grow even better than the 401k, a 457s, a 403bs. So educate yourself, people. That's all it is.
Educate. You know what? I want to say this. Educate yourself, but also keep an open mind.
Yes.
A lot of people are closed-minded, and unfortunately, maybe because of society or they're raised a certain way. And like my dad, for example, refugee. Immigrant came to the United States, never had a job until late in life. He did. He's always worked. He always worked his ass up under the table.
Right.
Under the table. He'll put in crazy. He'll like fix toilets and clean up yards and bake donuts and all kinds of stuff. But it was under the table until he landed a job with a company called Raley's in Bel Air, right here, right? And worked there for 25 years. And one day he goes to the doctor. Doctor says, "Hey man, you have cancer. You have 6 months left to live." He's like, scratching his head. He's like, man, I can't work for the next 6 months. So he goes to his employer, and his employer explains to him, hey, I can't work for the next 6 months. I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
I'm going through chemo, taking medication.
Right.
I'm not going to have. They're like, you know what? Here's your severance pay. Here's your final check. Have a nice life. So they let him go.
Wow.
They let him go. But that took away all his benefits, his health insurance,
Right.
life insurance,
Right.
everything. So when you said your life insurance is not portable, it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's like a company car. If you don't work for the company anymore,
Right.
can't take that car with you. Hey, we want it back.
They take it away.
So they take it all back from him. So and he was the main breadwinner in our household. And my mom mostly it depended on his income. For 6 months, he lived longer than 6 months. He lived for 2 years, which is great. But it was very expensive.
Right.
And between the siblings and all 6 of us, we're arguing, okay, who's going to take dad to chemo? Who's taking him to, and this is not like we had to drive all the way to Stanford, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
In San Francisco,
Yeah.
right? And staying in hotels and take time off from work and away from our own families to make this thing work, right? And so financially, it was a tough time for our whole family. And when it came down to burying him, unfortunately, we chose the cheapest option to bury him. We didn't give him that dignity to actually bury him. We just cremated him, which is nothing wrong against cremation, right? But that's not what my dad asked for, right? We just have to do it by default because we're just strapped, right? And I remember at one point I did approach him. I said, Dad, have you looked into life insurance before he was diagnosed with cancer?
Right.
Man, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. He's from Cambodia. What's that gonna do? I can't take it with me. I get that.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you, but it's for mom when you're gone.
Right.
It's for to pay off the house, so that way we can continue living there. So by default, my brother had to quit his 6-figure career in San Diego to come back and move in to live with my mom.
Wow.
And take care of her to this day. Yeah.
And what legacy do you want to leave behind with your family, right? You want to make sure you have a financial blueprint that you're gonna take care of and that your family's taken care of. People they do crowdsourcing because they didn't plan. Crowdsourcing, what I mean is like GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
You see these things like, well, you think about it, it's like, what do you want your family to be? When it's your time, do you want to put that burden on your family?
Bro,
right?
Yeah.
So the things you take care of today, and what's your financial blueprint to take care of your family? Do you want your family to have those GoFundMes? It's like what do you want to leave behind, and how do you want to be remembered?
100%.
Do you want to be remembered as someone that took care of the family that planned and had a plan for your family once you leave this earth, or do you leave it to like, my friends will take care of me? That shouldn't be your friend's responsibility. I get it. Your friends are going to miss you, mourn you, and they're going to help the family with whatever funds you may need to get you buried. But I go, whose responsibility is that? In the end, take responsibility for yourself and take care of your family and know what's right and what's good for you.
Love it,
right?
Man. Absolutely. I can tell, brother, you are passionate about what you do. You're on a mission. You're on a crusade to reach and teach and educate and show people a different path. Or maybe just kind of like remind them, hey, we're here for a specific reason, and that's to obviously leave a legacy, right? What type of legacy do you want? What type of lifestyle you want to, why are you working so hard? What's it all for?
Right.
You're retired now. I feel like your real job is really just getting started.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we move on to the next set of questions, I just want to ask you to just go ahead and give us a quick recap on everything what we talked about, the importance of financial literacy and the difference between the rich and the poor, and that broke mindset.
Right.
So we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about rich dad, poor dad. We talked about mindset. We talked about uninterrupted compounding interest. You mentioned something about paying yourself first and how life insurance, what can do for you, what it can do for you. And we also talked about insurance through work and how it's not portable.
Right.
And you have to self-insure and don't just depend on the retirement program that your employer gives you, because you also have to supplement it with other things. Obviously, it's expensive. But one thing I want to touch base on before we move on and recap this is that what's your thoughts on, as you get older and your health is declining, and now You really do need assistance, right? People to kind of feed you, bathe you, and stuff like that. How do you feel about long-term care?
Long term, man, that's a cost that people don't think about, right?
No one thinks about that
No one
stuff.
thinks about it, right? Because it's like, who's going to take care of you? Is your wife going to take care of you? Does she have to quit her job to take care of you? What do you have in place that's gonna take care of that, right? Yeah, there's programs that work, but like I said, you pay into it. But what other vehicles are there that can supplement and help pay for long term care? And like I said, don't see it for what it is, but what it can do. And that's one thing is through life insurance.
So Medicare don't cover that stuff.
I'm not sure how that works
Okay.
with long term care, but I know it's super costly.
Super costly.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What is it?
It was like $4,500 a month.
I would agree, and
Really?
it is expensive. Yeah.
And that's yeah.
Going into a care home and all that stuff. Yeah, that can get expensive. But like I said, how do you prepare for those things? People don't think about it. It's like, I'm healthy now, but on a turn of a dime, something can happen to you.
Yeah.
You know, a stroke can put you in a long-term care, and you never
100%.
recover from it or something like that, right? So, like I said, it really comes down to just mindset.
Right.
When I say mindset, is like invest in yourself to educate yourself to learn about these things. All it is the only thing it's going to cost you is time. And if you don't have time to invest yourself just to listen to or read, right? Learn from watch what some of the wealthy people are doing. That's all it is. It's just educating yourself, and you got to put the time into it, and really just do that.
I love it, man. I actually wanted to recap. We talked about some amazing things here already. And you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go to OpsFinancial.net, OpsFinancials.net,
Yep.
and check out Ron Barroga. And can people follow you on your Facebook? You have any social media handles?
Yeah, that'll be Ops Financial.
Okay.
Yeah, they can follow.
Okay.
They find that they type that in, they can find me there.
Nice, man. You ready for the next round?
Yeah, sure.
Next segment here, you guys, is a lightning round.
Oh, man.
Questions, right? Lightning round. So I'm gonna ask Ron some quick questions, and questions he probably, and whatever comes to mind, whatever he has to share, and we're just gonna go from there. It's gonna be some funny ones, some serious ones. So first off, let's start off with this. What type of superpower would you like to have?
Ooh, how about flying?
Flying.
I hate traffic. I'm an impatient guy. If I can get to somewhere real quick, yeah, let me fly there real quick.
Okay. All right, man. So time is important to you.
Yeah, time is important to me. Yeah.
I love it, man. You got to get there quick. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some? I know you're looking for leaders, and you're looking to reach out, connect, because I feel like if you're running any type of business, you have to connect yourself and build surrounding with leaders. What are the qualities that make an effective leader?
Like I said, you have to have a servant's heart. If you can serve first, and your team can see that you're getting your hands dirty, getting your boots dirty, and you're in there in the trenches with them, they'll respect you more. And if it's like, oh, he's not just a guy just giving out orders. He's in there with us doing the work. That's what you have to have, a servant's heart to really become an effective leader. If you can't serve your people, you can't serve your team. What do they have to look forward to? They want to see you doing the work also. That just builds respect.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have like a motto, a slogan that you live by?
I would still go with that one. That's my game changer right there. Is, a true leader has a servant's heart.
Yes.
Jesus didn't come to serve. I mean, he came to serve.
He came to serve.
He came to serve, right?
Right.
So if you just have a servant's heart, I think that you become a true leader.
Okay.
Just learn to serve and serve with purpose and intention, with integrity and honesty.
Love that. Okay. Now, let's just switch it up real quick here. Would you ever go to a movie alone?
Yeah, there's actually, I actually want to watch this movie Oppenheimer, right?
I heard-
but
yes.
it's 3 hours long.
Is it 3 hours?
I told my wife and my daughters, you guys want? Nah, you have to go on your own. I would go. Yeah, I'm retired too, so I got time on my hands. So
Right.
I might be going to the movie theaters here and there to entertain myself.
Right.
So,
Definitely. I love it. And we already covered this already. We talked about, readers or leaders, and books are important. If you were to recommend a book to anyone to read, maybe a few books, what would you start with?
It's going to be that Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just read that, get your kids to read it at that age where they're coming out of high school, because it'll give them some mind frame. I was like, well, do I want to be an employee? Do I want to be a hustler and be an entrepreneur? Some of the wealthiest people, didn't go to college and finish school. So not school's not for everybody. I respect it though. I have a 4-year degree, I have something to fall back on. It gave me a career, but for some kids and this generation now, it's like school's not for them.
Okay.
Right. So
all right,
if you read that book.
That's a perfect segue to the next question. If someone was to start a career right now, and considering the circumstances, the economy where we're at, and the global economy, what would be a good career to start?
Wow.
For the next 3 to 5 years.
Well, you got to see what the trend is, right? I'm sure you see it in technology. Man, there's the whole global warming. I don't know what people. I think this generation now they want a job that gives them purpose. So find out what that purpose is. What really
like a YouTuber.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have influencers. I don't know. What's your game? Do you want to educate people? You want to lead people? What's your passion? What's your purpose? What do you feel drawn to? Because if you know what you're drawn to and it's authentic, your job is never going to be a job. It's going to be something that you love to do, and it's never going to be considered work, right? So know what that is. Don't chase the paycheck, because you probably be miserable, because like, man, you're grinding, 8 hours a day for how many years? Find something that you're going to really be passionate about, that you love doing, because when you love what you're doing, it's not really work.
Love it. 2 more questions. Who inspires you? First question, and I'll give you the next one.
Who inspires me? I would say my wife.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Man, she's a woman of integrity, honesty, God-fearing, and she just has solid ground. And when you have faith and honesty and just a good heart, she inspires me to be more like her. I can never be like her, but man, that would be my wife.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Look, like that really inspired me too right now, and we're lucky to be in amazing, happy marriages and have a life partner that supports what you do, and probably, how far off is retirement for her? Is she already retired too?
No, she's in the private industry, so she's
Okay.
got to go to 62 or 65.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but okay, eventually you guys will be retired together.
Yeah, unless the businesses go well and I can retire her early.
Hey, it sounds like, brother, you have no issues, no problem building this business.
I'm trying.
Because leaders create more leaders, and I like to hang out and surround myself with like-minded individuals, man. So you're gonna definitely attract that type of people.
Appreciate
Your vibe attracts your tribe. I believe that.
Ooh, I like that.
100%, right?
I like
Because
that.
man, me and Ron, like when we bumped into each other, and the whole night at the retirement party, I kept on like gravitating towards him. He was like, "This guy's freaking. We gotta connect. We gotta connect." And then he sent me a text. I was like, "Bro, like it's just serious. Like this is something you don't come across it." And that's the reason why the business of helping people and getting them to a different financial position, or just being overall a better version of themselves.
Yeah.
It's the mindset, the development, and the training and camaraderie. Like we're obviously making, be creating a lucrative income and helping a lot of people. But it's like, man, what else would you rather do?
Right.
This is a great freaking movement right here.
You gave off some good energy, and you just want to be good around people with good energy. And when you can just see the authenticity of people, like, man, this guy's pretty genuine, and I can see his true colors off the bat. So
Yes,
you're
sir.
drawn to those people that have that energy, and you just like you want to continue the conversation, right? So,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
here we are.
Here we are. Amazing podcast so far. We went a little bit longer. We had some hiccups, right? And with the audio issues, technical issues, and but we corrected it. And now we're wrapping up here. Before I do wrap up and end this podcast, I just want to ask Ron to kind of share his final thoughts and any recaps before we end it. So Ron, any final thoughts to the audience that's listening?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for your giving me this platform. And like I said, I think it's the energy that you gave. Wanted me to have this conversation with you and just talk to people and just really educate people. So I appreciate the platform. I know we're in the same industry. A lot of people that are in the same industry like to gatekeep information, but we're over here sharing information. How do we make each other better, right?
Yeah.
How do we leverage one another? It's all about building each other up, right? And so when you work with like-minded people who have that same energy, who have that same authenticity, you're more inclined to like, hey, dude, we could really do some good work together. Let's put our minds together and let's serve the people. Let's serve with a purpose, and everything will fall into place. And like I said, the blessings will come. You just do the right thing, and blessings will fall. So I totally agree with believe that. And I just appreciate the time that you gave me and the platform. And like I said, I think we have some work to do together, and we can definitely reach the people.
100%. I'm excited. Birds of a feather flocks together, right? An early bird catches the worm. And this gentleman right here is a firebird, financial independent, retired early. And I hope to be one of those birds. Surround myself with these firebirds, but not exactly retired yet. But thank you, Ron, for your time. We really appreciate you. We hope to have you on for the next show, and definitely we'll dive further, deeper on some of these topics here that we covered half of these topics, you guys, on half of it, and there's so much more, but we only have a short amount of time to kind of share with you the wisdom. But if you want to find more information, OpsFinancial.net. Contact my man Ron Barroga, and he will pretty much, schedule some time in between his busy retirement schedule to talk to you and help you retire with him, so you guys can go to the movies together and watch Oppenheimer. So let me tell you guys, thank you, brother. It's a blessing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having you here. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our show. And again, Ron Barroga.
Thank you.
Cheers, brother.